Okie dokie, ho ho! Let's go!
Hey guys, it's Retrohead here, and welcome back to another video. Today I have a really exciting video for you, as I am doing a video all about the Nintendo DS and 3DS, as the original DS was originally released in 2004, so that means this year the DS is 20 years old, which is kind of mind-blowing, but also at the same time. So I wanted to do a video sort of commemorating this milestone in the DS's timeline. So I'll be doing a bit of history about the DS, showing my collection, other great games that I might want to buy in the future, and games I think you should have too. And then also how I think DS changing is going to change in the future. So before I get started on the timeline of the DS, which I'm sort of going to do, I'd like to tell you about my history with the DS. So the DS was actually my first ever games console I had. I think I had a DSi. It was like a reddy brown colour. I don't have that one anymore. Shame, because I'd love to have my original DS. But I got that, Mario Kart and Mario Brothers as my first ever console that was like just mine. And I loved that thing. I literally played it to death, and it was so cool to have like my own console that was just mine. And that is what really got me into gaming. That, and then quite a while afterwards I actually got a Nintendo Wii, and that really helped me as well. But the DS was my first ever console, so it does sort of have a soft spot in my heart. So here we have the original DS, and looking back at this, like after years of not playing it, this thing is very bulky, more bulky than I sort of like remember it being back in the day, but it's still a really nice console to hold. It's very comfortable to hold as well. And for the time, like revolutionary, with two screens, having one touchscreen and one play screen is absolutely amazing. I think they're still amazing now, to be fair. The good thing about the original DS is it is also compatible with Game Boy Advance games as well, which is on the next model, but they stopped that on the models afterwards. So that's a really cool feature that I wish they kept on all of the models of the DS. I don't really know why they would take it out. I don't know how much like it cost to put it in, but they shouldn't have took that out in my opinion. So this is one of my original DS's, and I actually paid £10 for this from a charity shop absolutely years ago. And I'm really pleased to have an original silver one in the collection. But my favourite original DS I've got is this boxed blue Nintendo DS. And this is the Nintendogs pack that came bundled with Nintendogs Labrador version. And I'm so happy to have this in the collection. If you do watch my videos, this was only like 3 or 4 weeks ago maybe. I went to a car boot and picked this up for £10. And it's complete in box, it's fully working and everything. Obviously for £10, that was a really good deal. And you never ever see this sleeve cover for Nintendo, so I'm so happy to have this in the collection. And I love the blue colour of it. And like I say, I was so excited to find this at a car boot. And this is actually my only boxed original DS I've got, so this was an awesome pickup. Next up, released in 2006 and ending in 2014, is the DS Lite. One thing you'll notice about the DS consoles, a lot of them at least, is that they had such a long lifespan, just because they sold so well and everyone loves a Nintendo DS. And this is a very much smaller model than the original, much more sleek as well and easy to put in your pocket. But this is the first console I have to show you, and this one is unboxed. But I do have another one to show, and that is this boxed light blue one with the brain training pack. As you can see, it's another one of these sleeve cover for the DS's. Very pleased to have a box one in the collection. I do like playing the DS Lite, just because it's smaller to hold than the original DS, but this still does have the Game Boy Advance port, which I think playing Game Boy Advance games on the DS is quite good, because you're not putting wear and tear on your old consoles. It's a much better experience to play your Game Boy Advance games on here. I do kind of prefer playing on the original hardware, but this is just a really handy way of doing it. And this boxed one is the brain training pack. And I know a lot of people don't talk about brain training, but I really enjoy that game. It's a bit like Wii Fit. No one talks about it. Everyone like mocks it on YouTube and stuff, but it's still a good game. And brain training might be one of the most important Nintendo games ever released. So this is a really cool one in the collection. And the last one is really random, and that is this lime green Nintendo DS Lite. And you may be thinking, why is that random? That is because this is empty. So there's no DS in it. It's just the empty box and manuals. But I have no idea. I've had this 7 or 8 years, and I cannot remember where I got it from. And I sort of thought I'll find a cheaper unboxed lime DS Lite, but I cannot find one anywhere. I think it must be quite a rare colour, so I am looking for an unboxed version to put in here, but I just wanted to include it in the video. Next up is the DSi, released in 2008 and ending in 2014. This is kind of like the last original DS model released, and it's sort of like the most premium version, if you like. It doesn't have a Game Boy Advance port, but it still has the two screens, obviously, because it's the DS. And it's one of the first ever DS's to have an inbuilt camera, which is a pretty cool little feature. It sort of has lots of little features that the other DS's didn't include. This is a really, really influential DS in the timeline. So along with that white one, I also have this boxed pink DS, which is the Style Boutique bundle pack. Not a sleeve cover or nothing, this is just the original box. And it's a big box. For a DS, this is probably my biggest box DS I've got. It's not like my favourite one, but I do quite like the pink, to be fair. I think it's quite a nice pink. It's not like bubblegum pink or nothing like that. So this is a really cool one to have. And my final DSi console is this complete and boxed red one, and I really, really like this. It's because I love Mario, so I love any red console. And the condition of this box is really, really nice. Now, I received this as a Christmas present one year, so I don't know where the person got it from or how much they paid, but it's a really good condition red DSi. Next up, released in 2011, is the original 3DS. Now, I don't actually have an original 3DS in the collection, so I'm not holding one, but I want to include every DS, and there's quite a few 3DSs I don't have. So the original is one of them, but that released in 2011. Then in 2012, you have the 3DS XL, which is basically the same as the original 3DS, but just a bit bigger. Then in 2013, Nintendo released the 2DS, which is one that I have here. I do not like the 3D on the 3DS. I tried one on a kiosk back in the day and didn't like it. So that's why I got the 2DS, it's much, much cheaper, and I just wasn't bothered about the 3D. And this one doesn't fold in half, but that's sort of like, it does scratch the screen a little bit more. But the folding in half over time can cause problems, so it's not really a bad thing. And this boxed console is my original one that I got back in the day. I got this from Game in Norwich, in Chantry Place, a shopping centre in Game, which isn't actually there anymore, but I got this and New Super Mario Bros. On the 3DS, and it was such an awesome day. And just looking at this brings back such great memories, as this is my original. And the other box 2DS I have is this Mario Kart 7 variant, and I love this one, as you know I love Mario. And this is such a cool box DS console, or 2DS. And Mario Kart 7 is a Mario Kart that not many people talk about, but one that I really enjoyed. Again, I don't really know if it's because of nostalgia, because it's like, I bought it brand new when it came out and just played it to death, but I really do enjoy Mario Kart 7. And this again was a car boot purchase absolutely years ago. So I don't drag this video out for too long. I'll do the next few in one little go. So you have the new 3DS, the new 3DS XL, and then the new Nintendo 3DS and the new Nintendo 3DS XL, which is all different dates. The names of those consoles are absolutely terrible, but I do have a Nintendo 3DS XL in the box here. This is the red one. Again, I love red consoles, they're just so smart. And this box is in really nice condition. I picked this up about a year ago. It was a really, really good deal on eBay with absolutely loads of games. And they were a lot of Mario games, so I did already have them. But I ended up trading loads of those in. I got the majority of the money back on this console, just on the games. So this probably or more end up costing like £20 to £30 rather than, what, like 150 is CX charging for this? Like, the 3DS consoles are so valuable. And then finally in the timeline, released in 2017, the same year as the Switch, you have the new Nintendo 2DS XL. Not one that I have in the collection, but it's still a cool one. So before I show you my collection of games for both systems, I kind of want to talk about what I think is going to happen to collecting it in the future. So the original DS, I do think is going to go up in value like in the coming years, just because they sort of haven't really had a price rise. There's always been the more expensive ones like the Marios and the Zeldas and the Pokemon's always been expensive. But that's the same for every console, like even like the Wii. Like that's always had its expensive games and its cheap games. But the DS has its expensive games, but there's so many ones that are so cheap that I think like the only way they can go is up, especially as it's still a fun console to play and it is handheld. And what with people like working and stuff more nowadays and stuff like that, it's a really handy console to have as well, just because it is so portable. And the 3DS for me is a similar story. I do think that will go up as well. I don't think all consoles are going to go up, as I said in the last video. I think the GameCube games will drop in value. But 3DS games I do think are going to go up in value. What with the Nintendo 3DS eShop closing, the games have seen a little bit of an increase to me, but not much. But I do think they will go up in the future. And just some other games I wanted to talk about that I don't own on the DS, or 3DS as well. We'll do DS and 3DS in this little section. If you like Zelda, you are spoiled for choice. There is so many Zelda games released for the 3DS and DS, and there's some great ones there as well. I've played some of them, but I don't actually own them in the collection. And also the Pokemon games. If you like Pokemon, there is so many to choose from. I'm not into Pokemon, I don't collect for it, but I know a lot of you do. So the DS literally has games for absolutely everyone, and obviously, as you know, when it came out, there was like 80-year-old ladies buying the DS for like brain training and stuff. So I really do think whatever you are, no matter what age you are, no matter what gender you are, you will find something you love on the DS or 3DS consoles. So before I show you like my DS and 3DS game collection, I just wanted to show you a few DS pickups that I've had lately before I show you my actual collection. Just some recent ones that I've added to the collection, including this little stack here, well quite big stack, of 5 games for £5 from the car boot that I recently picked up. So the first game is a really good one because this is one that will go towards completing a full set on the DS for me. And that is Professor Layton's Spectre's Call. The Professor Layton games are such good games, and this copy is complete in a really good condition. And this is the most expensive Professor Layton game on the DS, being £8 on CEX, I believe. So I haven't had the chance to play it yet, but I have played the other Professor Layton games, and they are really good. And this is one that you don't see so often, so I'm really pleased to have this one. The next game is a game that I had years ago, but haven't got it anymore, and that is Cooking Mama on the DS. Again, complete in a really good condition. I used to love this game when I was a kid, so I was really pleased to see this one. I haven't played it for probably 7 or 8 years, so I'm really looking forward to going back and playing this one. Whether I'll enjoy it as much or not, I don't know, but this is an £8 voucher at CEX, so if I don't enjoy it as much, I can just trade it in for other games. The next game is Disney Pixar Toy Story 3. I've played this on the PS3 and also the PSP, and it is a great game, and it's just one that I wanted to have on the DS. Not one that I pay the full price from CEX for, I think they're set for like £4, but when I saw it for £1, I just couldn't leave it there. Next up we have a game from a franchise I don't really know much about, and that is Goosebumps on the DS. But I am pleased to have this, as a lot of Goosebumps stuff is quite expensive. And this is only a £2 voucher, so I'm definitely keeping this one, as it is in such good condition and complete. But I'm really looking forward to playing this. I don't really know anything about Goosebumps. But it does look really, really interesting, and one that I can't wait to get stuck into. But let me know, have you played this game in the comments down below? And finally in this stack we have Professor Layton and the Lost Future, and this has actually completed the original DS Professor Layton games for me. And again, I just can't believe the condition of these games. This was just in a big box with some other original DS games, and they're just in such good condition. I think the box literally must have just been put out, because there's some really good games in there for just £1 each. And I'm really happy to finally complete the Professor Layton games on the original DS. Next up we have Guitar Hero On Tour for the original DS, and also Guitar Hero Modern Hits. I do already have this one in the collection, but this is in much better condition than mine. And this one I didn't have. And I paid just £2 each from these, from the same car boot. Not from the same store, but different store, same car boot. And I'm really pleased to have these in the collection, as I do really enjoy Guitar Hero. And these, if you didn't know, actually use the Game Boy Advance slot to plug the accessory into. So you do have to play this on either the original DS or the DS Lite. But really pleased to have these in the collection, as I love anything Guitar Hero. So we recently went to Ipswich for a game hunt, and there'll be a full video coming soon of the full game hunt. But I just took a bit of footage from the DS section from CEX that I want to put in this video now. So I picked up 3 really good condition games from Ipswich CEX. The first one being one that I can't wait to get stuck into, and that is Spyro Legacy Shadow. I'm really pleased to have this one in the collection, and for a £5 I think it was a really good deal for any Spyro game. I do really enjoy all the Spyro games. I'm now playing through Spyro 2 on the PS1 and really enjoying it, so when I saw this one, I had to pick it up because I'm in a bit of a Spyro mood lately. And like I say, they are all complete and in really nice condition. So for a fiver, I couldn't leave that one there. Next up is a DS game that I've heard of but never seen before, and that is Pac-Pix, obviously a Pac-Man Namco game. And I think for any game with Pac-Man in for £2.50 is a great deal. I don't know anything about this game, so I'm not going to pretend to, but it is complete in box. Like I say, I've never played it, I've never seen gameplay footage of it. I'll put some in now, obviously, but I do not know nothing about this game. But from the back, it doesn't look incredible, but it's like intriguing me, so I'm looking forward to giving this one a go, and let me know, have you played it? And finally, from my recent pickups, is a game that I've had my eyes open for so long, and that is Wario Master of Disguise. This is complete in box again, in a really good condition. I will show you, because it does also have its VIP points as well. Just get them out to show you. And it also, they're not scratched, which is really good. And you can see Wario on the back there. I love the artwork on the Wario games. I think they're really good. I have been researching gameplay footage of this game, and it looks awesome. And like I say, I love the Wario platformers and the Wario Party games. I just think they're such good games, and I love the art style. So I cannot wait to play this one. This is probably the next DS game that I'll have to get into. So just before I get started showing you my DS collection, I'm not going to show you every DS game I have, otherwise we'll literally be here all day. We're going to be here a long time as it is, so this is just my favourite ones. There's still a lot to show you, but if I show you all of them, we'd literally be here all day. So these are just my favourite games, and the ones that I think you'll like too. So for me, there's no other game I can start with than New Super Mario Bros. This game is one of the most nostalgic games ever for me. Literally one of the first ever video games I ever played. And it is still just as amazing now. I've completed this game. It's got to be at least 4 or 5 times I've completed this game. Anytime I go travelling on holiday, I tend to take this game with me, as it is so good. And honestly, if you haven't played it, it is such an amazing game. I think this is about £18 to £20 on CEX, so it is not a cheap one, but it's definitely worth it in my opinion. Next up, we have Mario Kart DS, the first ever Mario Kart I played, and again, I absolutely adore this game. It is the nostalgia, I reckon, because it's also a really good Mario Kart game as well. It's got an amazing array of characters, including Rob the Robot, which we haven't seen for a long time, and I would like to see him in the next Mario Kart. Rob the Robot is so awesome. But this game is really good. It's got some amazing tracks, amazing car customization, and amazing rare characters. So if you haven't played this Mario Kart, you're really missing out. Next up, we have much more of an obscure one, and that is Mario and Luigi Partners in Time. I do have this copy complete in box, and it's in nice condition. And this game is a pretty rare game, and a pretty expensive one. I think this is worth about 40 quid on CEX, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less, but it's like, I don't mind this game. It's not incredible, but it's not bad at the same time. I haven't played it for a good few years, to be fair, so I can't say too much about it. But it is an RPG, and I do quite enjoy RPGs. They're not my favourite, but I do quite enjoy them. So this game, I wouldn't say rush out and buy it, but if you see it for a good price, it's definitely worth a go. And it's a really cool one to have in the collection, as the artwork is amazing. But like I say, I wouldn't rush out and buy this one, but if you see it for a good deal, I'd say it's worth a pickup. Next up, we have a really iconic game, and that is Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games. Very fitting for the Olympic Games happening right now. Really do enjoy the Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games video games. They're really good. It still is an awesome game, one that I've had in the collection for a long time now. And next up, obviously, we have Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Winter Games. This game is also another amazing one. I do like the Winter Games probably a little bit more, just because it has got a bit more obscure sports in it. So this is a really good one in my opinion, and these games are really cheap at the minute, the Mario and Sonic games, so I would buy these now rather than later. These next two games are ones that I really do enjoy, and that is the Mario and Donkey Kong games. Obviously, I'll show you the first one first. These games are absolutely awesome puzzle games. I absolutely love these games. I do also have it on the Game Boy Advance as well, and it's really good on there too, but these are really good time killer games, as puzzle games on the DS with the 2 screens just work so well, especially with like the stylus. You can get it bang on just right, and it's just such an enjoyable game, and one that I think couldn't work better on the DS. And then we obviously have Mario vs Donkey Kong 2. I didn't enjoy this one quite so much, but I think I just prefer the original. I do with most games, but I still really enjoyed this game. And having Donkey Kong as the enemy is a bit different than having Bowser, so this is one that I really enjoyed. And if you haven't got these ones, I definitely recommend picking these up. I've had this next one in the collection since I was about 6 or 7, and that is Mario Slam Basketball. Now, I didn't enjoy it overly much back in the day, as I found it really difficult, But going back and playing it now, it is an awesome, awesome basketball game. And one that I definitely recommend you pick up for your collection. I wouldn't say, like, I'm going for every Mario game, so I need this one. But if you're not going for every Mario game, I wouldn't particularly recommend it. But if you do enjoy Mario, this is an absolutely awesome basketball game. This is another game that I really like the artwork on, as I think it's a little bit different, and one that I think you should definitely have in your collection if you're a fan of Mario. And I also have that game, but the American version in my collection. It's called Mario Hoops in America, which is a little bit different. And I just like having these other versions of games in the collection every now and again, especially for Mario, as I love the cover variations. And the American DS cases, if you didn't know, also in there, which are easier to store, obviously. And they feel much more, like, stronger than ours. I wish our ones were thin, though, just because you can fit so many more on a shelf. But yeah, just wanted to show you this little American version that I have as well. Next up, we have a game that is awesome on the DS, and that is Mario 64 DS version. This is ever so slightly from the N64 version. They literally added a couple of little bits. I think Yoshi is a playable character in this as well. But it's basically the same, which is a good thing, because Mario 64 is incredible. And fitting this game onto a DS cartridge, I know nothing about this sort of thing, but that must have been, like, a real difficult task. And it plays so well on the DS, not as well as the N64, as the original DS at least doesn't have an analog stick, which does set the game back a little bit on the DS. But this is just a really cool game to have in the collection, because how did they fit the whole of Mario 64 on a DS cartridge? Next up, we have Mario and Luigi Bowser's Inside Story. Now, I'm going to read the back of this one to you, because this really sells the games. It sounds so cool. I have played it, a little bit of it, but not completed it, though, so I can't say too much about it. Mario and Luigi find themselves inside Bowser following a series of bizarre events. They'll have to work out together with their nemesis to save Mushroom Kingdom in the craziest adventure of the series yet. So basically, Mario and Luigi have to work with Bowser because they are inside of him, which is absolutely awesome to see, like, them working together. A bit different. I haven't completed this game, so I can't say too much about it, but I want you to let me know in the comments if you've completed this game and, like, how far you got. But I think this sounds amazing, and this is one that I really need to get back into soon. Next up, we have Yoshi's Island DS, and this is another awesome DS game, and one that I really enjoyed. And I also really do enjoy the art style in this game, as it is really good. And I'll read you the back of this one as well, actually. Saddle up for adventure. Yoshi's back with a knee-high courage. Now he takes on new abilities depending on which baby he's carrying. Searching for hidden treasures, goodies, like all new character coins abound, so keep your eyes open. So yeah, basically, if you didn't know, in the Yoshi Island games, you play as Baby Mario and Baby Luigi, which is a bit different, but really awesome. Next up, we have one of the most chilled out games ever, in my opinion, and that is Yoshi Touch and Go. The music in this game is just so chill, and the gameplay is just, like, really relaxing. A bit like Animal Crossing. I do find that about Animal Crossing. It's just so relaxing and nice to play. So if you're after a relaxing but fun time, definitely play Yoshi Touch and Go, as it's a really nice game. And I also have that game on the DS, but the Japanese copy, which is pretty cool, as you can see by the spine, all Japanese writing. And it is really nice to have a Japanese DS game. It's one that I do have. And it's pretty cool. And these also do have those thin cases, which is quite nice. I just wish our ones did as well. I don't mind that they're, like, black and our ones are see-through, but I just wish ours were thinner, as they'd be so much easier to store. And next up, we have, in my opinion, one of the best DS games ever released, and that is Super Princess Peach. Now, I'll read you the back of this one as well, as it is absolutely amazing. I love this game. Bowser is back, but this time Princess Peach has to rescue Mario. With the help of an umbrella, change Peach's emotions, make her float, burn obstacles, or make vegetation grow. Join her through 8 worlds from Fury Volcano to Shriek Mansion, and enjoy great touch minigames, puzzles, and more. Like I said, this game is really good. It's not a cheap one. So if you're not a fan of, like, first-party Nintendo games like Peach and Mario and stuff, I wouldn't recommend this one. But if you do have the money to spend on it, or you see it for a good deal, definitely pick it up, as it is an awesome play. Next up is a game that I haven't got round to playing yet, and that is Donkey Kong Jungle Climber. As you can see, I paid £12 from CEX for this. I don't know if that's changed, whether it's more or less, but it is a really nice and complete copy. And I've never played this one yet. I haven't just haven't got round to it, which is a shame, because I do love the Donkey Kong games. So I've not really got much to say about this one, so I don't really know what it's like or anything. So I want you to let me know in the comments if you've played this game and whether it's any good or not. Next up, we have an amazing game, and that is Diddy Kong Racing on the DS. I bought this from the Game Cave in Durham, and the Game Cave is such an incredible gaming shop. And this game is so good. On the N64, I actually prefer the N64 version of Diddy Kong Racing to Mario Kart 64. And I like Mario Kart 64, so that's how good it is on the N64. And I love it on the DS as well. It's just absolutely amazing. And you can race as a car, a boat, or an aeroplane on this, which is a really, really awesome thing as well. So I don't know how much this one is. I think it's worth about £10 to £15. If you see this one, definitely pick it up. Next up, we have the other two original DS Professor Layton games. We have Curious Village and Pandora's Box. I did prefer Curious Village a little bit to Pandora's Box, but they're still great games. Now, I won't put footage in for either of these, as we've been here for a long time already, and they're both quite similar, but still both awesome, awesome games. And quite cheap at the minute too, so definitely pick these ones up if you see them. Next up, we have a game that I absolutely love, and that is Metroid Prime Hunters on the DS. Now, I'm not a big fan of first-person shooter games, but I love the Metroid games. They're definitely my favourite first-person shooter games. And the DS version is amazing. I'd say this is my second favourite after Prime on the GameCube, just because for me, nothing will ever beat that. But I haven't played the Switch versions, but a lot of the time, the more modern releases aren't my favourites anyway. So this is my second favourite after Metroid Prime on the GameCube, and it is such a good game. Not an overly expensive one, but not a cheap one at the same time. I think around £15. So if you do like FPSs, this is an awesome game to add to your collection. And I also have the Metroid Prime Hunters demo on the DS. I think this got packaged with some DS systems back in the day. Now, I don't really need this in my collection as I do have the full game. I believe it's like the same thing. But because I'm a collector, I feel like I need to have it because I'm a collector. So, yeah, this isn't one that you need to have in my opinion. But a pretty cool item if you like Metroid. Next up, we have Tetris DS. Now, for me, the original Tetris will always be my favourite, just because it's like it's just iconic Tetris. I don't really know how else to say it, but I do really enjoy Tetris DS as well. It's one of my favourite spin-offs of it, if you like, because it is a really good game, and it does also play really well on the original DS. And I also like the little Mario and Zelda Easter eggs it has in it as well. If you play the game, you'll like sort of spot the little Mario Easter eggs they hide. So this is a really good DS game. Next up, we have the Simpsons game. As you can see, this is the American version, but on the DS they still work fine as it's region free. I really do enjoy the Simpsons game. I do really love watching the Simpsons as well, so that's probably why. But it's a really good game. I've played it on the Xbox 360. I don't think I've ever owned it on the PS3, but I've also played it on the Wii as well. I can't imagine what it'd play like on the DS, but I can imagine it would play pretty well. But because it's like a more of a 3D open world game, I can imagine playing it on the 3DS would be better, just because you've got an analog stick and it's much easier to play on the 3DS. But it's an awesome game. If you haven't played this one, you really need to get round to it soon. Next up is a game that kind of reminds me of Mario Party, and that is Crash Boom Bang on the DS. A really good selection of little mini games on this game, obviously all themed around Crash Bandicoot. So I really enjoyed this one. I don't like the games that really rip off Mario Party, if you like. It doesn't rip it off, it just sort of steals some of the ideas. But it is still a really good game and a pretty cheap Crash game if you're looking for some good Crash fun. Next up, we have Crash of the Titans. I paid £5 from CX for this, as you can see. I've got no idea if the price has stayed the same or not, but it's a really good Crash game. I don't know what other console I've played this on, but I've definitely played it on something else other than the DS at some point. But it's a really good game, and I've played it on the DS, and it really does play well on the DS as well. So if you haven't got this one, I really recommend it. Next up, we have a game that I haven't really got round to playing yet, so I can't say too much about it. But that is Legend of Spyro: A New Beginning. Now, I have heard some good things about this game. I know other people really do enjoy this game, but I can't really say much about it, so I'll just read a little bit at the back for you. Join Spyro on this epic quest of intense action, where he must realise his destiny and unlock explosive powers that lie within to defeat the mysterious Black Dragon. So this game sounds really cool and one that I must play soon. Next up, we have Animal Crossing Wild World, and again, like I said earlier, I love the Animal Crossing games just because they're so chilled. You can chat to the other villagers and they're so friendly and that, and the music is just really nice and calming. So I do really enjoy this game, and it is such a good Animal Crossing game on the DS as well. I've played New Leaf on the 3DS, and I think both DS versions are so good. I feel like they play better on DS than they do on home consoles. as it's like a really nice game to take out and about with you, I feel. So yeah, definitely worthy of anyone's DS collection. Next up, we have Sonic Classic Collection. This includes Sonic the Hedgehog, Sonic 2, Sonic 3, and Sonic and Knuckles. So this is a really cool little cartridge to have if you like taking it out and about. Obviously, they're going to be played much better on their original home consoles, but for taking Sonic on the go, this is a great little cartridge to have. Not a cheap one, so if you do already have the originals in your collection, I wouldn't particularly recommend it. But if you don't already have the originals and you're not bothered about like the original copies of the game, definitely pick this one up if you want some good Sonic fun. Next up, we have Sonic Rush, and I really enjoyed this game. This is one that I used to have in my collection, then sold off absolutely years ago, but then a couple of years ago I bought it back, and I have played it since, and it's so good. It's so fast, like mega fast. The screen is like whoa, 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 like that. But it's really fun. There's like loop-the-loops and jumps. A really awesome game. Next up, we have Sonic Colors. Now, I've played this game on the Wii, but never played it on the DS. So I don't particularly know if this is like particularly good on the DS or not, but when I played it on the Wii, I really enjoyed it. I know sort of like the mid-2000s, people have sort of like gone off Sonic. Nobody was really talking about him much. But there was never a time for me where I went off the Sonic games. I've always loved Sonic from the start right up to now. They've always been really good, and Sonic Colors for me is no exception. Next up, we have Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing. This game is a really fun racing game. I love seeing like Super Monkey Ball Sonic characters all in one game. To me, that is really awesome. And this game isn't very expensive, but it's a really fun racing game. So if you haven't got this one, I definitely recommend you picking this up for your collection. And this next DS game is a really good DS game, and that is Sonic Chronicles: The Dark Brotherhood. Now this game is like a little bit of a more story-driven Sonic game, but one that I absolutely loved when I played it through. I will read you a bit on the back of this one because it's so good. A brand new journey of battles, explosion and discovery. Select your team of Sonic and his friends to fight new enemies, explore new worlds and defeat a monstrous new menace. So this game is really good. I don't know how much this one's worth. I literally don't know. I've had this in the collection for so many years, so I'll put a price up on CEX of what it is worth, and you'll sort of have to determine whether you think it's worth it or not, but definitely recommend giving this one a try at some point. Next up, we have a DS RPG that like I hear no one talking about it. I paid just £3 from CEX and it's such a good bargain, and that is Lost Magic. The story in this game is just absolutely incredible. And for £3, I don't know if to say now, I'll pop a little screenshot up. But when I bought this for £3, I was so happy with it. I would say, and I don't use this term lightly, this is a DS hidden gem. It's that good, and one that I really think you should pick up. Definitely play Lost Magic because it's absolutely awesome. And for that price, you can't really complain. And finally, on the DS, we have Thundercats. Now, I absolutely love the Thundercats. Watching the Thundercats and playing the Thundercats on the DS, as I think, I'm not 100% sure because I don't know anything about, like, Commodore or Spectrum or nothing like that. But on proper home consoles or handheld consoles, not PCs and stuff, I believe this is one of the only Thundercats games ever to be released, but one that I really think you should buy sooner rather than later, because I genuinely think this game is going to get pretty expensive. So one that if you want to get, I'd definitely buy it now. So that was all my DS games. Like I say, not all of them, nowhere near all of them, just because I can't show them all in one video, it'd just be too long. But now let's get started on my 3DS games. So I will show you my entire 3DS collection, as it's nowhere near as big as my original DS collection. So it's still going to be quite a marathon though. So the first one is Super Mario Bros. 2. What an amazing game. This is, like I said earlier, the first game I ever bought when I had my 2DS. The only game I got with it, you know, when I first bought the DS. And it is absolutely amazing. I know a lot of people don't like this game as much as the original DS version, but I prefer it. I cannot tell you, like words don't describe to you how much I love this game. I don't know how much is at CEX, but I'm going to say whatever price it is, it's absolutely worth it. Definitely pick this up if you don't own it. Next up, we have Mario Kart 7. I really do enjoy this Mario Kart game. This one does have a first-person mode, which no other Mario Kart has. I don't like particularly use it when I play it, but it's still a pretty cool feature that no other Mario Kart has. And it's also got some incredible tracks compared to some of the other Mario Karts. And a lot of people don't really talk about this Mario Kart compared to the others in the series, but I really do enjoy this one. I think this is about £12–15 on CEX. So definitely pick this one up if you don't own it. Next up is a game that I haven't really played overly much, and I don't really know why, and that is Mario 3D Land on the 3DS. Like I say, I don't really know why I haven't played this game so much, because I completed Mario 3D World on the Wii U multiple times. It's an incredible game. So I don't really know why I haven't played this game overly much. It's still a really good game. One that I need to get back into playing very soon. Next up, we have Mario Party The Top 100, an absolutely awesome Mario Party game, as this goes back and looks at all the old Mario Party games and picks out the best 100 games that's from the old games and put it into this brand new Mario Party game. This one isn't the cheapest Mario game, but it's still a pretty good deal in my opinion. A great one to add to anyone's collection. Next up, we have another Mario Party game, and that is Mario Party Star Rush. I didn't enjoy this one quite so much, but still did really enjoy it, as it's still a really good game. I think it's just because I haven't played it quite as much. I haven't owned this one for as long as I have the Top 100. Still a really good game, just not one that I've played quite as much. But this Mario Party Island Tour, I've played a lot. I really do enjoy this game. I've had this one a long time compared to the other two. And it's just one that like really takes me back when I play it. I do really love this game. It's not a very expensive one either. So if you're looking for some cheap Mario Party fun, this is probably the best way to do it. Next up, we have Paper Mario Sticker Star. Now, every time I look at this game, it really takes me back, as I went camping and I took this game with me. So yeah, this always brings back really fond memories for me, this game, and it is also a really good game in its own right. So if you like these games, pick them up soon. Next up is one that I haven't got around to playing yet, and that is Mario and Luigi Paper Jam. I'll read a little bit back on the back for you. Luigi stumbles across a mysterious book and accidentally unleashes paper-thin versions of Princess Peach, Toad, and many others. Now he and Mario must team up with Paper Mario to help find their paper friends get back to their open world. So this game does sound really good, and it is one that I have full intentions of playing very soon. But again, I'm saying that about a lot of these games. I really must play some of these games soon. Next up, we have a really good 3DS game, and that is Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga plus Bowser's Minions. Now, this game is not cheap. I've got no idea what the price of it's like now. I can imagine it's pretty similar, to be fair. But it is such an awesome, more of a RPG, JRPG kind of game. Join Mario and Luigi as they adventure to the classic Bean Kingdom in this remastered classic. A bro-tastic adventure, special quests, larger-than-life characters, and battle together. So if you haven't played this one, I would say play it, but it is quite expensive. So if you're not much of a fan of Mario, I wouldn't recommend it. But if you are a big fan of Mario, I'd say it's worth a buy. Next up, we have Yoshi's New Island, and I really like this game. It's a really good Yoshi game. And I think I paid £10 for this game. I think it's around the same now. I don't think it's changed overly much. But it's a really good Yoshi game. And these are the sorts of games that I think aren't going to stay cheap for very long. So again, if you want this game, I'd pick it up soon. Now, this next game has always been pretty expensive, and that is Poochie and Yoshi's Woolly World. But this game, I love this game. It's another one of those games that's just so chilled out, calming, and amazing to play. And Woolly Yoshi and Woolly Poochie, as you can see just there, are like the cutest things ever. It's so funny how cute they are. So yeah, I absolutely love this game. It's not a cheap one, but I still think this is absolutely worth it. Next up, we have Luigi's Mansion 2. Now, this is another one of those games that is quite cheap, so if you do want to play some Luigi's Mansion and you don't have the biggest budget, I'd go for this one personally, as it's a really good game. And I think it's about £10 to £15 on CEX, and the others are pretty expensive, so this is a really nice, cheap Luigi's Mansion game to play. And it's still very good, and I really enjoy this one. Next up, we have Super Mario Maker. Now, I do have this one on the Wii U as well, and it plays amazingly on the Wii U with the Wii U gamepad. But this plays just as well on the 3DS, because you've got the touchscreen with the stylus. It's so accurate, like for placing blocks right where you want them. And it is so fun to set levels for your friends. And obviously you can't now, because you can't play online on the 3DS anymore. But I remember making levels online and putting them up online and trying other people's. And people make some incredibly hard levels, but it's just so fun to share and create your inventions. Next up is a game on the 3DS that I really do enjoy, and that is Mario and Luigi Dream Team Brothers. I'll read you a little bit on the back about this one. Mario and Luigi adventure through Luigi's dreams, real world. Mario and Luigi combine their powers for special moves. Next up, we have Mario and Sonic at the Olympic 2012 Games, but I also have 2 copies of this because they're different covers, and I'm that much of a Mario fan that I feel like I have to have these because they just look really cool together. Not really too much to say about these, as they are just Mario and Sonic at the Olympic games, but I do love these games. And obviously with the Olympics being on now is pretty apparent, and I'm really enjoying watching the Olympics this year as well. So this is a really cool games to have, and I'm probably going to go back and play these soon. And this one is a bit of a harder one to find, and that is Mario and Sonic at the Olympic 2016 Games. Not one you see very often, but it's not the most expensive game, but this is one that I think will go up in value just because you don't really see it. But this is just as good as the 2012 games for me, no better, no worse, but it is a little bit harder to find, so if you see it out and about, I definitely recommend picking it up. Next up, we have Mario Tennis Open. Now, I don't really know why this one is so cheap. I think this is like £5 in CEX, and nobody talks about this game, but I absolutely loved it when I play it. The tennis power-ups in this game are absolutely, like, insane, some of them, and you can really get, like, to grips with the power-ups, and you can get really, really good at this game, if you really want to. And nobody talks about it, and I think it's a bit of a hidden gem on the 3DS, to be honest, as I absolutely love this game. And I do have quite a good memory attached to this, so when shops were stopping selling 3DS games, I actually picked this up from Argos for like £3, brand new and sealed, which is crazy stuff. Next up is a game that I haven't actually got round to playing yet, and that is Mario Sports Superstars. I can't really say too much about it because I haven't played it, but you can sort of imagine what it's going to be like. Just a Mario Sports compilation, but it does look really, really good from the back. You get football, baseball, tennis, horse racing, and golf. And to get horse racing on Mario games a little bit different, so I actually feel like I've got to play this game pretty soon now, actually. It looks awesome. Next up, we have Mario Golf World Tour. Now, this is one of the games that I have played, and I did actually really enjoy it with the 3D graphics, and I don't really like that on many games. I don't really know why I particularly did on Mario Golf, but I really love this game. It's just it's another one of those games. It's just nice and chilled out. You don't have to play it for too long. You can pick it up, put it down whenever you want. And it's a really nice little time filler. Next up, we have Donkey Kong Country Returns 3D. And this one is a little bit special, as I just found the cartridge loose at the car boot absolutely years ago for like £1 or something. I can't remember how much it cost. But I bought this case separately, as this is the thing you pick up off the shelf to pre-order the game. As you can see, it says when it comes out, and like display box only on the back. I would like to pick up an original copy of this game as well, but this is still a really awesome little thing to have in the collection. This is a game that you really don't see very often, and I really think this one will go up in value. And that is Puzzle and Dragon Z and Puzzle and Dragon Super Mario Bros. Edition. A bit of a mouthful to say, but this game is quite a rare one. Now, I have played it and it is quite good. This game is a franchise in itself that just Mario like teamed up with for one game. It's quite fun, it's just not like amazing, but you don't see this game very often. And I really do think the value of this one is going to go up in the future. So if you see this one out, I definitely recommend picking this one up. Next up is a game that I can't really say too much about. I've played it a lot, but it's just so iconic, and that is Smash Bros. On the 3DS. I don't really know what to say about this because it's Smash Bros. And it's so iconic, but to have all of those Nintendo characters in one game to me is pretty cool. And I really do enjoy Smash Bros. The 3DS version isn't my favourite, but it's still an awesome game. Next up, we have Animal Crossing New Leaf, an absolutely awesome Animal Crossing game. And again, like I said with Wild World on the DS, I just think the Animal Crossing games play so well on like handheld systems, just because I feel like they're just the perfect games to take out and about on the go. So I definitely recommend Animal Crossing New Leaf. Next up, we have a game that I absolutely love, and again, it's just so chilled out, this one, and that is Pilot Wings on the 3DS. And this is another one that I do enjoy with the 3D graphics, like, you know, the little 3D feature turned on, as it's just such a nice game. The scenery as well. You actually play on Woohoo Island, which is the island from Wii Sports Resort, if you didn't know, so this is a really cool one, and quite a cheap one as well. Next up is a game that I haven't played yet, and I can't actually believe I haven't played this one yet, and that is Metroid Federation Force. I'll read a little bit on the back for you, so I don't really know what to say about it, because I've never played it. The Galactic Federation needs heroes. Are you up to the challenge? As a mech pilot in the Elite Federation Force, it is up to you to get rid of the galaxy space pirates once and for all. So this game sounds really, really cool, and I can't actually wait to get stuck into this one. Next up, we have Dr. Kawashima's Devilish Brain Training. This is another one that I haven't played. I can't work out why it's Devilish Brain Training. If you know anything about it, let me know what it's like in the comments. But I picked this up for like £2 from a charity shop. You don't see this one very often, so I was really pleased to find it. Next up is another game that I think is going to go up in value, because I paid just £2 for Codename Steam from CEX. Now, this is from the makers of Fire Emblem games, which, if you didn't know, Fire Emblem games are mega expensive. Even on like the consoles like the Wii, they're still very, very expensive. So one that I think you should definitely pick up now rather than later. Next up, we have another game that I need to play, and that is Star Fox 3D. I love the Star Fox games, and this is one that I need to play soon. I just keep not getting around to it. But this was just £5 from CEX. Again, I'm not sure what the value's done. It's probably gone up to like maybe like £6 or £8 or something like that. I can't imagine it's gone up overly much. But this looks like a great game and one that I must play very, very soon. I keep saying that about so many games. I've got so many DS and 3DS games to play through. It's unbelievable. Next up is a game that I haven't played on the 3DS, but I've played it on the PS3 and it was really good. And that is Sonic Generations. This is sort of trying to go back to Sonic roots a little bit, which I think is like a good idea to do that on modern consoles. But for me, it just doesn't capture the amazingness it is the original Sonic games. Still a fun game to play, just not as good as the originals. Next up, we have Sonic All-Stars Racing Transformed. As you can see, paid £3.50 from a charity shop for this a long, long time ago. Probably like 4 or 5 years ago now. But this is a really, really cool game. Got it on the Wii U as well, and I do really enjoy this game. Especially as it has characters from Crazy Taxi, which you don't see Crazy Taxi characters very often. So this is one that I think is really fun. I don't think it's like an incredible game. It's just to have all these characters in one game is really cool. Next up, we have Super Street Fighter 4 3D Edition. Now, this is a really good game on the 3DS. I think it plays very well on the 3DS. I can't play the 3D graphics of this one because my eyes just go crazy. It's really horrible, actually. But playing this on just the normal 2D graphics is a really, really good game. And not very expensive at the minute, so I think this is a great value game to pick up now. Next up, we have a game that I've never played, and that is The Adventures of Tintin. I think I have this on the Wii as well, but I've never played it on the Wii either. But I have seen Tintin on TV, it's quite good, so I probably should get round to playing this game quite soon. Next up, we have Winter Sports Feel the Spirit 2012. I just bought this because it was a nice, cheap, complete-in-box 3DS game, and I do quite enjoy winter sports games as well. And it does have some really cool-looking snow bikes on the back, which looks very, very fun, actually. Next up is a game that I've never played before, and that is Resident Evil Revelations. I've played it on the PS3, but I've never played it on the 3DS. So this is a really good game on the PS3. I can't imagine what it'd play like on the 3DS, but I can imagine it would play pretty well, as it does look like a pretty good game. And it looks like a really cool one that you could take out and about with you. I paid £5 from a charity shop for this a long time ago, and I did a short about it on my channel. At the time, it was only £8 on CEX, and now it's shot up to £15, which it wasn't like overly long ago. I've only had the channel for like not even a year yet, so this game is clearly going up in value pretty fast. Next up is a game that I've never played before, and that is Goosebumps the game. Bit similar to the one that I bought on the DS the other day, I can imagine, and it does look pretty good. I just don't know nothing about Goosebumps. I know it is quite a well-respected franchise. A lot of people do like it. Probably not one that I'm going to get around to playing anytime soon, as I've got a lot I want to play first. But I can imagine I will give this game a go at some point. Next up, we have Art Academy. Now, I've never played this game, and I don't think I'll probably get around to it, to be honest. I love drawing, and I love painting and stuff, but I like doing it in real life more. There is a Goomba on the front, which does look pretty cool. I do like him being on the front there, but yeah. Haven't got around to playing this, but this was just a nice, cheap charity shop pickup a few months ago. Next up, we have two Moshi Monsters games. I know absolutely nothing about Moshi Monsters. If you do, let me know in the comments. So I can't really say much about these, because again, I just know nothing about it. Next up, we have Lego Marvel Superheroes Universe in Peril. This is one that I've played on the 3DS and I really did enjoy, and I bought for £2 from CEX. It's an absolute bargain. And this isn't one I see overly often either on the 3DS, so if you see this one out, I would recommend picking this one up. Next up, we have Lego Batman 2. I've never played this version, so I don't really know what it's like on the 3DS particularly, but I have played Lego Batman 3, and I've played it on the Wii U as well. I do really enjoy Lego, and that's why I enjoy the Lego games, but I'm not overly into Batman. But I have played this game, and it is pretty good. Next up, we have Hot Wheels World's Best Driver. Now, I used to absolutely love Hot Wheels when I was a kid, so this is a really cool game to have, and I do really enjoy the Hot Wheels games on all consoles. And this one isn't overly expensive, and it's a really fun little game, and one that I would recommend if you're collecting for 3DS. Next up, we have NCIS 3D. This is a murder mystery game, which I do quite like murder mystery games, but I haven't actually played this one yet, and I haven't really seen the TV series either, so I don't really know what this one is like. Again, if you've played it, let me know what it's like in the comments. I only bought it because it was like £1 at the car boot, so yeah, I don't really know what this one is like. Next up, we have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on the 3DS. This is another one that I haven't played. I'm not overly into Turtles. Sort of like from the animations back in the day, Turtles I can sort of take or leave. I don't mind it, but I don't love it at the same time. And I'm not really into the look of the modern Turtles, to be honest. So this probably isn't one that I'll get around to playing soon. But it's still a cool one to have in the collection. Next up, we have Chibi Robo Ziplash. Now, it's really nice to have a chibi robot game in the collection because this game isn't worth very much. I paid a fiver for it. But on the GameCube, it's like 150 quid. So if you're after playing a chibi robo game and you want to do it on the cheap, definitely the 3DS version is the way to go. Next up, we have Hollywood Crimes 3D. Now, I haven't played this one, but it does look quite good from the back. And this is one of the cheapest 3DS games at CEX. I think it's like £2. And I think a lot of people don't like cheap games, they just immediately think they're not going to be very good. But in my opinion, the game shouldn't be ruled out just based on its price. This next little stack of 3DS games, I'm just going to rapid fire show you, as I don't think any of you will find them overly interesting, but I still wanted to show like my entire 3DS collection. So the first one is PES 2011. Next up, we have 3D Game Collection. Then we have FIFA 2012. Then we have Madden Football, that's not one you see very often. Next up, we have an American copy of Madagascar 3. And then finally, it's Phonics with Biff, Chip and Kipper. Next up, we have Lego City Undercover. I really like this game. I've got it on the Wii U as well. I've never played it on the Wii U, but I've played a lot of it on the 3DS. And this is a little bit like a kid-friendly GTA, like made out of Lego. It's basically a big Lego open world. You can just do whatever you want in. And for that reason alone, it's definitely worth a pickup, as it is really fun. Next up, we have a really good 3DS game, and this is one that I do think the value will go up, and that is Miitopia. Now, I'm not going to say too much about this again. This is the sort of game that if I say too much about it, like, it'll just spoil it if you haven't played it, because the storyline is so good. But I do quite like how you can actually use your Miis in there, so you can, like, have you as the main character. It's a really, really good game. It does have a Switch release as well, but I'd much rather play it on the 3DS. And the final 3DS game I have to show you, and this one I do think the value will go up as well, and that is Super Monkey Ball 3D. Now, I love the Monkey Ball games, like, so much. I do have one on the DS as well. I don't think I got around to showing you, just because if I show you too many games, we'll literally be here all day. And we near enough have been already, to be fair. So if you're still watching this video at this point, thank you so much. But yeah, this is a really good Monkey Ball game, as it actually includes little bonus games, including Monkey Race, which is Manic Car Battles, which is a really, really fun little mode that you don't see in Monkey Ball very often. So this one is definitely worth a pickup in my opinion. Well, wow, that was a very long video, and if you're still watching now, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Now, obviously, I haven't shown you any of like my accessories or cases and stuff, just because literally we will be here till tomorrow if I show you all that stuff. So maybe for another video, maybe not, but I don't want to show you everything, as I don't want to take up your entire day with just this one video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all later. Bye!